welcome back to another episode of Into the 99, where we've got 99 cards, because Commander's number one. I've got Slothy with me, and I've got a good old guest. We've got Thunder with us today. How's everyone doing? Slothy, how are you?
I'm doing pretty well. It was a nice easy week. Working at a different site, so I'm in a good mood, ready to talk some cards. How
Fair,
are you
fair.
doing?
I am the most bored I think I've ever been. So if you listen to last week's episode, you'd know I hurt myself. I'm not wise enough to know how bad I hurt myself. I broke my leg in like 4 spots, and then I had like a full separation of like my heel and like my foot, and then I tried to walk on it because I'm again not super wise, and then that like crushed it back down into place. It's quite a thing, but I've been off work, so I've been laying in bed doing just nothing, and I work like 90 hours a week, so doing nothing has been very very boring. I tried to play video games for like 3 hours, wasn't great, but we're on painkillers. We're here recording, and we've got a great guest with us. Thunder, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. It's been a very hot week here in Germany, and now we're going to get some rain this weekend, so we'll see what happens.
Fair. It's do you prefer heat, or like what's it like climate wise over there mostly? Like is it hot, cold like over here, or mostly warm?
I think most Germans would say it's like 70% cold and then a little bit of a hot summer.
See, that's
Um,
that's the kind of stuff I like. Like I live for the cold.
yeah. I'm
Hmm.
sort of cold to middle temperatures. When it's too hot, then it becomes a bit of a problem. Um, Computer fans start running extra. I don't want to do my 3D prints.
That's fair, yeah. I was gonna say, by the
Hmm.
way, it looks like you've done a bunch of the work on the office. The display looks great.
Yeah, it's coming along. I still got to do a whole weapon, or I don't want to say weapon rack, but like all my tools for the 3D printer on the back there. But
That's cool.
I'll get there.
It's like I said, it looks good. I still in this studio area. The rest of how my cameras are set up is wild. I have such a nice looking studio area, and then I'm just like, what if I put the camera at the one spot that looks the worst in my room? So like the behind me there, where my crutches are in the video, there's no need to soundproof that wall because I have so much like reflection over here, and I talk into it, and so it's just like this is the worst looking spot of it, but it's just where my camera's set up, and I'm like, every time I really gotta cover this up. I gotta get a big banner or something. Um, Today we're going to do a just a live one. The three of us are gonna put our heads together and do a live one. So I'll pull up our we have our Bloomborough legendaries here, and we'll decide on one. We were gonna do Glarb, but we're gonna have to reschedule that live brew. We've got another guest, which should be really fun. But I'll let you guys. I'm fine to brew anything except for Helga because I've already made 4 Helgas, and that's next week's episode. So spoiler.
Sure.
Um,
I think I had what's it, Wick Squirrel or that snail dude on my list of to build.
okay. The Wick the World Mind. What do you think about that one,
Yeah.
Slothy?
I'm done with that one.
All right, then we brew Wick the World Mind. Okay, so let's go over into our thing and let's get Wick added. Um,
So, how many rat colonies do we add?
that's a pretty cool looking card too. Let's set this as our commander, and
Hmm.
let's maybe even just before we do this, like I'll read what Wick does, and we'll talk about the direction I think we want to go and stuff. So we have Wick the World Mind, which is really cool artwork. 3 and a black for a 2/4 Rat Warlock. Oh, it's got red in it too. I didn't even see that. So it's 2/4. Whenever a Wick or another rat you control enters, you create a 1/1 black snail creature token if you don't control a snail. Otherwise, you put a 1/1 counter on a snail you control. So it's kind of like an amass thing. And then one blue, black, and red. You sack a snail. Wick deals damage equal to the sacked creature's power to each opponent, then draws card. Then you draw cards equal to the sacrifice's creature's power. Okay. So we need half rats, half like kind of Ozolith kind of effects. Is that what you guys think?
or some changelings. So you get a bit of both.
Changelings are pretty good. Let's.
Yeah, because
I
I
feel.
think
Oh, go ahead.
that you only create the 1/1 black snail token if you don't control the snail.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you put counters. So the changelings works a little bit better because you can go a bit wider. Otherwise, you kind of just have the one snail and then a bunch of rats.
Yeah. See, I really like the. We can throw the snail, right? So like, I feel like we got to put an Ozolith in the list. Because every time it's got a 1/1 on it, it'll just keep coming back, making it so we draw. But I feel like we might deck ourselves if we get a little too silly.
Oh yes. So you could look at this as there's going to be a right moment where you want to throw the snail, so you don't want to wait too long and let it get too big, and then maybe when it's just big enough, and it's to each opponent. So you also got to be a bit diplomatic about how you do this. Otherwise, everybody's going to be like, "Yeah, he's just hurting us all the time."
You're fighting against everyone. But
Yeah.
on the same side, it is really fun that it hits each opponent. We only have to kill the table.
Yep.
And so we can go. Like I said, I'm gonna add. I'll give us our second card because I already put Soul Ring in. I'm gonna take Ozolith.
Okay.
Sure.
Whoops.
How do we feel about Maskwood Nexus in here as well?
Everything's a rat. Everything's a
just kind of going along with Thunder's a bit more go wide strategy. With everything that enters, you're going to be putting +1/+1 counter on whatever you want, essentially.
Yeah, there's 3 shapeshifter makers that I'm aware of in these colors. There might be a couple more that can just kind of clone stuff or even token doublers, but it's like the main ones is the Birthing Burrows, the Masterwood Nexus, and Black Market Connections.
So let's add in Black Market. Yeah. I'm in the wrong one every time. Black Market. I never brew this way. I always brew just with cards on the table. This is nice. Black Market Connections. So Black Market Connections is 2 and a black. Beginning of your pre-combat main phase, choose 1 or more. You create 1 or more. That's awesome. You create a treasure token, lose a life. You draw a card, lose 2 life. Or you get a 3/2 colorless shifter token with changeling and lose 3 life. Okay, pretty good.
Yeah, so it's got a bit of like meme value to it, probably because of the command zone where they would shout full send and then you just do everything.
Okay.
So, but it works well because you gain, you can add effects to gain some life into the deck, and then you can really leverage that.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you'll just destroy yourself. It's a lot of life loss.
That is a lot of life loss, but we have such a having a draw engine in the command zone that's also like throwing damage at everyone is pretty cool. I like the Maskwood Nexus idea as well. Still the wrong one. I'll get the right one eventually. Like I said, everyone, I'm on painkillers.
One of these
if you're
days.
Watching the video. Maskwood. I can spell normally. I promise. I'm a normal boy. So we've got our Maskwood Nexus, which is, for anyone who doesn't know, 4 colorless creatures you control are every type. Same is true for creature spells you control and creature cards you own that aren't on the battlefield. Pay 3, tap, you create a 2/2 blue shapeshifter creature token with changeling. Okay. All right. I like this so far. Go ahead.
Think like arcane signet, talismans, guild signets, stuff like that.
Arcane signet. Yeah, get some ramp. Let's do Rakdos signet.
Chromatic lantern.
Chromatic lantern's probably really good in the deck too, so we can activate that ability kind of without worrying. So I'll read what those ones are here. We got our Chromatic Lantern, so 3 colorless lands you control are all have tap to add 1 color. It also taps for 1 color. Signet is just a 2 mana. You tap for 1 mana of your commander's identity, which is great. And then I threw in a Rakdos Signet then. Maybe a Dimir Signet as well? Or do we like the talismans more? Signet or talisman, call it.
Um, I personally would say talisman.
Okay. What are the Dimir talisman's names?
Dominance is Demir, indulgence is Rakdos, and creativity is it.
Talisman of Dominance. Oh yeah, this deck is also is it. Interesting. So we've got talisman of what now? Say those again. Talisman of
Creativity
yep.
and indulgence.
Talisman of Indulgence. And then what was our third shape-shifting card you said, Thunder?
Birthing Bows.
Birthing Bows. Okay, let's throw
Yeah,
that
so it's
one
a
in.
little bit of a worse Masquerade Nexus, but it's still reasonable.
Yeah, still gives us that ability to use our extra mana that we generate.
Yeah. We'll probably have quite a bit from the talismans and all the other signets.
Mm-hmm.
But I was also thinking we could, and maybe this is a question of power level, but how it depends on how everyone's comfortable. We could go the route of some of the sacrifice effects to get some mana from things, because we're going to be making tokens.
Yeah, Ashnods and
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me, before we do that, I want to add Song of Totenaz. I play that card so much on Standard. It's one of my favorite cards. I win the game all the time with it. It is just
that would be great.
Yeah, a rat creator.
Yeah.
X and red. Create X/1/1 black rat creature tokens with it. Can't block. Creatures you control gain haste until end of turn. So that's going to make our snail huge. Like if we can dump 10 mana into this, we'll make 9 rats, make our snail 9 bigger, and still have 9. We can't block with them, but we can do it. With this snail going in and out. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, do we want to add something like almost an impact tremors?
Yes. I
Yeah.
think that'd be pretty good. Impact tremors.
There's a couple good ones that came out in the last couple of years. This in black and red. I'm not going to remember the names, but it's something like when token creatures come in, then it triggers the same type of effect. I'll have to Google it to find it, but
you want to read impact tremors while Thunder Googles that one, and I will take a look as well. Let me.
Yeah. Impact tremors. It is 1 in a red. Whenever a creature, sorry, it's an enchantment. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, impact tremors deals 1 damage to each opponent.
Yeah.
Kind of along the same lines there. How do we feel about what's it called? Where'd you go? Things like Lord Skitter or Marrow, or not Marrownar. Well, yeah, Marrownar works. Just like some of the more lordy rat stuff as well.
So Lord Skitter.
Yeah, Lord Skitter. It's 2 in a black. It's a 3/3 legendary rat noble. Whenever a rat enters the battlefield under your control, exile up to 1 target card from an opponent's graveyard. And at the beginning of combat on your turn, create a 1/1 black rat creature token with this creature can't block.
That's fun. I like that. Let me pull up right here. You go ahead,
yeah. Yeah, and then Marrownar, it's also a token creator. But you can sacrifice a rat to put X 1/1 black rat creature tokens into play, where X is the number of rats you control. So if we're going more of a token theme, I could see that being pretty good.
Yeah, Marrownar seems fun. Marrownar is expensive, and all your rats have fear, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Is there a cheaper version of Marrownar, or is it just that's just what it is?
I think there is a cheaper version of it.
No. Bloomberg. There's $10 one from Bloomberg. That's fine. That cuts our price in half, and it looks really cool.
Yeah.
Like
Ogre Slumlord as well is a pretty good one.
Ogre Slumlord?
Only what? Yeah.
Okay, what's Ogre Slumlord do?
It makes the rats.
Whenever another non-token creature dies, you may create a 1/1 black rat creature token. Rats you control have death touch. Pretty good.
Yeah, it might be that this is more for, because the rats get death touch, they are great blockers.
Yeah.
And you can really send them in.
Yeah.
So that's also good. It's like you want your rats to go wide and to deal damage everywhere, and then you sacrifice your snail to burn everyone.
Do we want to
Yeah.
add? There's only one snail in Magic. Do we want to add it? It's Skullcap Snail. It's when it enters target opponent
I think we
exiles a card
gotta.
from their hand. Yeah, it's the one snail in the deck, right? Skullcap. Skullcap Snail, a nice 35-cent card. It is 1 and a black. Whenever it enters target opponent exiles a card from their hand. It's fine, but it lets us throw the snail at people. So
Yeah.
I think the knowing that, I think the shapeshifter route is it has to happen, right? Because there's only one snail, and our commander makes
like
snails.
Torian Mauler and.
Let's see what we have for rats. Just rats in Magic. There's a lot of rats.
There is a lot of rats.
So do we? I think going the rat route is better because we don't have to blink our commander in and out. What do we think of our ramp section first? Are we happy with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces of ramp? I think we need some more in these colors, right?
How about we?
I mean,
we organize the strategies a little bit and just like instead of just going with type,
organize it into side strategies.
So like instead of like just artifact, we say like we create a category for ramp specifically.
Okay, let's do ramp. All right. Okay.
And then you press the star so that it allocates it to the ramp.
Did I even create this category or no?
I think it's created.
Let me close this. Like I said, if you've seen any of our videos before, you know that I don't organize my lists at all. Oh, I think you got to do create a new category. There we go. We're piecing it all together. I'm learning today. Ramp.
Okay, yeah, so I had some discussions in the Architect Discord, and everyone unanimously agrees organizing both strategy makes a bit more sense. So
it looks so much nicer. Every time I see other people's Architect lists, I'm like, wow, everyone put in such a nice amount of effort. Not me. I make too many decks to organize them that way. Make this ramp. Make this ramp. Add a category into ramp. So let's get we're getting our stacks looking nicer. How many pieces of ramp do we think we want for this? Because we have a really solid draw engine, I feel.
So I can always.
I feel like we could
the system from the 8x8 system that I always talk to everyone about.
That's true. You do like your system.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got ramp.
I would recommend Commander Sphere and Decanter of Endless Water.
Oh, Decanter's a must, yeah.
Just some 3 color stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Decanter of Endless, Commander Sphere. Do you want to read Decanter quickly?
Sure. Decanter of Endless Water. It is a 3-mana artifact. You have no maximum hand size, and it can tap for 1 mana of any color.
Yeah. I love that one. I think we need what's the other? It's Thought Vessel, I think. The Samurai.
Yes, Thought Vessel. The Starfish Samurai.
Once you see it, you can't unsee it, and it wrecks the card for you forever. Okay, so we've got.
Yes, and I hate you for it.
That's right. Thought. Ow, my foot hurts. Jeez. Okay, Thought Vessel. I love Thought Vessel as a card, honestly.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so we've got, I would say, a fairly hardy ramp section at the moment. We're sacrificing, so do we think that Grave Pact might be good? Mean, but
Dictate of Erebos, Great Pact, sure.
Dictate, yeah, they both do the same.
Even Mirkwood Bats as well could be fun.
Good idea.
Yeah, that's under the burn section, yeah.
And let's do Mirkwood. I'll let you guys read those cards. I will organize these. Let me find add a category for burn.
Yeah,
do you want to read Dictate?
Create a new category. Let's do burn effects.
Yeah, everybody dies.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got our burn effects. We'll put
burn.
This over into it as
Impact Tremors goes there too.
Yeah. Burn.
Instead of going and clicking through them, you can also just drag and drop.
That is true.
This is sorcery.
Into the different categories.
I would have been doing this for the next 2 hours. This would have been a 13-hour episode. As I pluck away on a keyboard trying to figure out how to organize things. Okay, well. All right. All right. Okay. Fair. Well, everyone, this is also a how to use Archidect episode, apparently. Let's look. Oh, go ahead.
I'm gonna write a Scryfall query now because I'm getting a bit like I can't find the cards that I want, so I'm just gonna Scryfall it.
That's fair. We've got a lot of rats. Do we want to do Lab Rat? It's a buyback one.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so Lab Rats is 1 black. It has a buyback of 4, and we create a black rat token. So if we've got lots of mana late game, it's pretty good. Let's find rat tokens. Oh, here we go. So a new category.
Like token creators?
Yeah, token creators. Token generator. So we'll have our Lord Skitter in it. We will have Slumlord. Where is this section now? Honestly, I wish. There we go. Okay. Drag that one in. Drag that one in. That's it's a very, very big damage engine to be able to, like, every time we have a rat enter, it becomes big. We hit all of our opponents, and that's our draw engine. So I think we need to be blinking this, like, I think a Conjurer's Closet, just so that every turn we have a new rat. What do you guys think of that one?
Well, usually I would recommend, if we're going to do something like that kind of synergy, we need to make sure we have enough of the blink effect and enough of the things that we're going to target for blinking.
Well, I think we only just want to blink Wick, so, but I guess it's every time any rat enters. Like, so we're not really hard pressed for it. But how about Panharmonicon to double up these snail triggers?
Yeah, we could do something like that.
I do love a Panharmonicon.
Because it synergizes with some of the other triggers as well, so I think that'll be fine.
Yeah, this is another enters, another create or sacrifice a token. Okay, so we've got our Panharmonicon, our 4 colorless. If an artifact or creature entering causes a triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger, that ability triggers an additional time. I think, like I said, I think already it's the I hadn't the fun thing about like talking with friends about like cards like this, right? Is I never would have really put Wick as a card I would have built. Like it didn't really speak out to me. Like, it's a cool card, but it wasn't really on my radar. But now I'm kind of itching to go down the stairs, so I'll fall down the stairs eventually and like build a deck like this. Like, it's I see like a huge amount of potential. We could also really easily do we could go into Illusionist Bracers and the other red bracers too whenever you activate an ability, trigger it. Because sacrificing a snail is part of the initial cost. We don't have to pay it twice, right?
Yeah. So
Wick is a powerhouse. Like, whoops.
yeah, these kinds of doubling or even tripling, I usually call them amplification. So like just an amplify effect. And so maybe like a triple damage would even factor in there.
How about a fiery emancipation?
Yeah. And because we've got a lot of rats potentially, we can go with City on Fire as well.
That's the one I was going to say is the Convoke one might even be better.
Yeah.
City on Fire. Okay, so City on Fire we'll put into our burn effects there. It's Convoke, 5 triple red. So your creatures can help pay it by paying 1 down or the creature's color. If a source you control would deal damage to a permanent or player, it deals triple that damage instead. That's pretty big.
Yep.
Whoops, I think I put that into the wrong section or I didn't move it. This is actually a fun way to brew this.
Yeah, I did manage to find what I was looking for eventually.
Oh, what one is it?
Nadir's Nightblade.
Oh, Nadir's Nightblade. Very good card.
Yeah.
It's a good one, yeah.
So because we're wanting to gain some life as well, it's perfect. Yeah. Architect has its issues sometimes.
Yeah, we'll see that. Okay, so Nadir's Nightblade is another burn, I would say.
Yeah.
Burn effect, K. So far, it looks like we're making a mean deck, to be honest.
I've actually got a sorcery that is also great for situations where you're going to have a lot of creatures. So like you could impact tremors when the creatures all enter, like you make a bunch of rats.
Yep.
Then you just drop Gruesome Fate, and it just takes the whole table.
Gruesome Fate. Oh, I haven't played Gruesome Fate in so long. I know the exact card you're talking. Gruesome Fate right here. 3 mana. Each opponent loses a life for each creature you control. That's a great burn card.
That's a phenomenal burn card.
That's mean, to be honest.
With how much, like, because we're planning on sacrificing the snail, dealing damage, drawing cards. How do we feel about Unleash Fury? Doubling the power of the snail. Yeah, it doubles the power. Then you can sacrifice it, draw double the cards, and deal twice the damage.
Unleash Fury is a double the power of target creature until end of turn. Yeah. Pretty because that can take the table out kind of at instant speed and stuff. You don't really, everyone thinks, okay, I've got 2 more turns of a snail.
Yeah, instant speed interaction like this is pretty neat. Plus, I mean, you can still attack with a snail and then do the sacrifice.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? I'm just looking at what.
Do we want to? Because we're gonna be.
Oh, go ahead. Oh, I've got.
I was just thinking.
You finish yours first, but I got something.
With the tokens that we're going to be creating, do we want things like Deadly Dispute, Village Rights, Corrupted Conviction, just kind of those cheap, throw something away, draw some cards?
Let's do a Village Rights. I think we've got a lot of draw already, but let's get a Village Rights just for some early draw. Our Village Rights is 1. Yeah. So as an additional cost, cast it, you sack, you draw 2 cards. 1, pretty good. Should I make a draw section?
Yes.
Probably, yeah.
Draw.
Yeah. And in the system, it says you're going to always try and have a draw strategy, a ramp strategy, a removal strategy, and then a wrath strategy, although I know some people don't like that. So that can be something else like protection, although here we probably don't care about that because we want things to die. but then we could also go with we're burning the table. So it's like that's our main focus is we want to destroy everybody on the table. So we're gonna have like maybe 4 cards that at the very least, or 8 cards are gonna really take down the table a notch,
Yeah.
or wipe them out. So
I was gonna add
Mhm.
Rat Out, which is just a 1 mana sorcery. Instant, sorry. From Wilds of Eldraine. Rat Out is up to 1 target creature gets -1/-1 till end of turn. You create a 1/1 black rat with it can't block. So we just have another pump rat effect. We're not in the colors of being able to get our doublers. So like we don't have token doubling really.
yeah, but we can damage triple. So
That is true.
I think it balances.
And then I was going to say the other one
Yeah.
is Piper of the Swarm. Sloth, you want to read me Piper of the Swarm?
Piper of the Swarm. I would love to. So Piper of the Swarm, it's 1 and a black for a 1/3 human warlock. Rats you control have menace. You can pay 1 and a black and tap it to create a 1/1 black rat creature token. And pay 2 double black and tap it to sacrifice 3 rats, gain control of target creature.
That's mean.
Yeah. What about kind of along the lines of being a little mean? Karumonix the Rat King.
How do I spell this?
Karu.
Okay, and then you read it for me. Yeah. Karumonix the Rat
Yeah.
King.
It's 1 double black for 3/3 legendary Phyrexian rat with toxic 1. Other rats you control have toxic 1. When Karumonix enters the battlefield, look at the top 5 cards of your library. You may reveal any number of rat cards from among them and put the revealed cards into your hand. Put the rest at the bottom of your library in a random order.
Other rats have toxic 1. That's really brutal.
Yep. Yeah, I was gonna try make a Marinoa deck, and I swapped over to Karumonix because I just felt like he was easier to get things to happen with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do we feel about Vren the Restless? I will read it here for you. I'm gonna throw it on the list.
Yeah.
We'll take it off if we don't like it. So Vren is. Oh my! I gotta organize these lists a little bit better here. Okay, so Vren is a Ward 2. It's 2/1 blue, 1 black for a 3/4 rat rogue. Has Ward 2. If a creature an opponent controls would die, you exile it. At the beginning of each end step, you create X/1/1 black rat creature tokens with it gets 1/1 for each other rat you control, where X is the number of creatures your opponents controlled that were exiled this way.
I love it.
That seems mean.
I like it.
I like it.
That's brilliant. Yeah. So this we could put under like a rat generation strategy.
So in the rat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we've got a decent amount of rat generators.
Yeah.
I'll let you guys you take a look through the list. Tell me what you think we're missing out on here.
Okay, let's see.
Ooh, what about what's it called? Azure Beastbinder. It's one of the new ones from Bloomborough. 1 and a blue for a 1/3 rat rogue with vigilance. Can't be blocked by creatures with power 2 or greater. When it attacks up to 1 target artifact, creature, or planeswalker an opponent controls loses all abilities until your next turn. If it's a creature, it also has base power and toughness 2/2 until your next turn.
Azure Beastbinder, hey? That's pretty cool. That's really cool artwork too.
Yeah. We've said that a lot about this set.
I love the Bloomborough artwork.
I think that this is nice if your opponent's got a potential problem. But in terms of synergy, it's just because it's a rat, really, and then it's acting as a bit of like a removal effect. So I could see this going under the removal category.
Rat removal?
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking too. Rat removal.
Yes, okay. But yes, I'll make removal. I like it. Whoops, create new category, removal. I don't put that in any deck, so this is it's a new category for me in general.
Yeah, so I would recommend that we have at least 8 pieces of interaction, 12 if we want to be a bit more effective.
I don't put 8 pieces of interaction in 9 decks.
You are speaking my language here, Thunder.
Okay, so let's look at some removal then. I'll you guys take this one away, please.
Pongify, Abrade, Rapid Hybridization.
Pongify. Let's do Rapid. Which one's Abrade?
Abrade is 1 in a red. It's an instant. You can either deal 3 damage to target creature or destroy target artifact.
Okay.
Yeah, I like to put things that can do 2 or more things. Murderous Rider is one of these. So it can you can have that option to choose, like, do I want to do this or do I want to do that?
What card?
Murderous Rider.
Okay, I'll add it to the list. Just quickly finishing the removal pieces. So Murderous Rider. Probably going to give everyone who's on this video a stroke the way I'm scrolling. You get what you get. Murderous Rider. Oh, and Swift End. Yep.
Yeah.
That's a good one. I'll organize my lists a little after. How's that sound? Okay,
Yeah,
so
we can also potentially go with stuff that's like got a kicker cost. I'd have to do some Googling to find all the stuff, but it's like we're looking at things that might, maybe it's like Kazul's Fury. We can get an additional sacrifice or something else, or like if someone's trying to remove our piece, we can immediately respond and do something back, that kind of thing.
I think Vandal, it's not a kicker cost, but Vandal Blast could be good.
Vandal Blast, just blow all their artifacts up?
Yep.
Okay.
It's one of those little
really play with.
Artifact removal staples, because it only hits your opponents.
Yeah.
What is this one? There's it's an overload card. It's red and blue overload. I'm just quickly scrolling through. It's a good one. I feel like this one. Dragon Shift. How do you guys feel about that? Until end of turn, all of our creatures become 4/4 red dragons and gain flying.
That could be a decent kind of overrun style finisher.
Ender, no, I don't think anyone's going to see it coming with all our rats. Our rats take to the sky.
Flying rats.
Flying rats. Maybe, again, we'll see. We
Flying
might have to take
rats.
some of these out after.
Yeah. Do you want to put a Meat Hook Massacre in here? We can get some more life gain from that.
That's a good idea.
Plus, it acts as a bit of a wrath in a sense, because it can nuke your creatures. Your stuff will die, but there's going to be a lot of triggers.
Where did Meat Hook go? It's an enchantment, right? Yeah, yes. Meat Hook Massacre. X double black. When it enters, each creature gets -X/-X. Whenever a creature you control dies, each opponent loses X life. Whenever a creature an opponent controls, you gain 1 life. Yeah, that is a good wipe for if we're full up of rat tokens and stuff.
Yeah, I saw another silly card, Siege Zombie. That might be useful because you can repeat with its ability, which will potentially win you the game.
Siege Zombie, hey, nice cheap card. Cards I don't know today. Tap 3 untap creature. That's really good. That's great. 1 to black for a 2/2 zombie. You tap 3 untap creatures you control. Each opponent loses a life. That's great for us.
Yeah.
And
What about
maybe
haunted?
Which one?
Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna suggest a warlock class. Um,
Mm,
it's another interesting one. It gives you 3 things. So the first is at the beginning of your end step, if a creature died this turn, each opponent loses 1 life, which is kind of what we're doing anyways. But if you pay 2 to make it level 2, then you get to look at the top 3 cards of your library and put 1 of them in your hand and the rest into your graveyard. So it's kind of like a bit of a card draw effect, which is pretty decent in black. And
hmm
then the last one is the finisher, really. And it's like there's other enchantments that do the same thing, but when you pay 7 mana and take it to level 3, at the beginning of your end step, each opponent loses life equal to the life they lost this turn.
That's good.
So yeah, you can just do like if you can do 20 damage to everybody, then they're all just gonna die. So yeah, it really cements the damage.
I
hmm
like that. What do we think about the new Bloomborough card, Echoing Assault? Do you guys know this one? It's 4 and a red. Creature tokens you control have menace, which is good for us. Whenever you attack a player, choose target non-token creature that's attacking them. Create a token that's a copy of it, except it's a 1/1. Enters tapped and attacking, then sacks it. So it gives us our ETBs on some of our rats if we have some.
Yeah, this I'm
Okay.
just reminded of a card I got today. Actually, let me just have a look.
Do we have? I'm just trying to look here. Do we really have any rat ETBs though?
Um,
Other than Wick,
No. Yeah. I guess I don't think that. I like.
one.
Honestly, I don't think it's worth it in our deck. I just saw it and I
no,
liked it. I was like, what? Maybe we could double up the effects, but I don't think it's actually going to do much
no,
for
I don't
us.
think we need it. Yeah. Yeah, I was looking at Coiling Rebirth, which is similar, but it returns a creature card from the graveyard to the battlefield. And if you gift a card, then if that creature isn't legendary, you create a token that's a copy of that creature, except it's a 1/1.
That's
But
good.
it's interesting, but I'm not sure how we would leverage this because there are a lot of legendaries here already. So um,
Yeah.
yeah. But in the beginning, Sathi, you mentioned Rat Colony. And I was thinking that that
Yes.
might be cool if we have like some stuff that can make like lots of rats. Um,
hmm
but I haven't really played that many uh, decks with those types of cards in them, so I don't really know all of them. I just know they exist. So
Yeah. It's what is there? Rat colony pack
pack rats.
rat. I think also just similar.
Let's add a pack rat so that we've got some more rats into our.
Um, and then thrumming stone would be one that would have to go in here. hmm
If we were going that route, yeah. I think we add rat pack and then
Um,
tangled colony. Tangled Colony is
yeah.
it's 1 in a black. When Tangled Colony dies, it gets you make X 1/1 black rats, where X is the amount of
Ah,
damage dealt with
yes.
it. So it's like it's a great blocker for us.
Yeah. It can't block though,
hmm
but it's
Oh, it can't block, so I guess it's
creates.
just an
Yeah.
aggro attacker.
Yeah. If we are playing those other things that um, like if we've got Maskwood Nexus out, then it's a snail.
Yeah,
So then we can sacrifice it and put counters. So it's actually pretty good in that case.
I didn't add Taurine Mauler
hmm
when you mentioned it earlier, but that's a good one because that's. Let me just look here. Yeah, Taurine
Yeah, it'll
Mauler.
just get big. Yeah.
Yeah, whenever an opponent casts a spell, you put a 1/1
Yeah.
counter on it, and that is technically a snail. It's one of our biggest snails, I would say.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Let me make a snail category. Create a new category. Snail. And we have 2 snails in the snail category.
In that case, How do we also feel about Bloodline Pretender?
Yeah, that can work.
Um,
That actually,
it's 3G.
so it triggers every time a creature that type enters, right?
The
Yes.
Bloodline Pretender?
Yeah.
Okay, well, let me
Yeah.
change this to Snail. And let's get Bloodline Pretender. Bloodline Pretender.
Oh.
Let me quickly, I just want to see what this one does here. Choose whenever another creature. Oh yeah, that's huge. So that's a great snail to throw at people.
Yep.
Yeah.
Do we want to go the mean way? Do we want to add something that gives Wick infect so we can kill the table? Or is that too mean?
Ooh.
Uh,
Like Phyresis
Well, I mean, we've already got
on the snail.
Karamonix.
True, yeah. Let me look at. I'm gonna add.
But if you want to go extra mean, we could do like Tainted Strike as well.
Yeah.
Tainted
I
Strike is
think
funny.
I think Phyresis is an enchantment.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Phyresis. I'm gonna name this section. We don't like our friends. I'll put Carmonix in that section too.
That's definitely toxic at the table. Yeah.
Hate our friends. Create category. So
Oh. No, never mind.
Tainted Strike is mean. 1-0 and gains infect until end of turn. Ugh, that's dirty.
You said you wanted to be mean.
We do have a hate our friends section. Where is the? What else was in it? Is Phyresis is what I'm looking for.
Phyresis, yes.
Enchantment, yeah.
There we go. Enchanted creature has infect. Ugh. That's mean. Hate our friends. Okay. What do we think about a Mad Ratter? Every time we draw our second card, we get another rat.
Mad Ratter.
Definitely, yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Because we definitely, I mean, that can work each turn, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
if we've got shapeshifters and things, then we can do a snail every turn and draw cards.
And
I
then
suppose you don't have to.
How,
one sec. There was
is it
another
already
I wanted
in there?
I wanted to add two more here really quick. Ogre Chitterlord is just
Yeah.
it's like the Rat Titan. It's
Yeah.
4 double red 6/5. When it enters or attacks, you create 2/1/1 black rats. Then if you control 5 or more rats, each rat you control gets 2/0. I think that's I think that's solid in this deck. Ogre Chitter.
Mm-hmm.
And then I wanted to do, there was one more. It was, what was its name? It's the Jumpstart Rat. It's not coming to me.
Oh.
Oh, Ashcoat, yes. Ashcoat is 3 and a black.
Yes.
When it attacks or blocks other rats you control, get XX, where X is the number of rats you control, which is pretty bonkers. In the beginning of your end step, you can mill 4 cards.
Pretty bonkers, yeah.
If you do, you return up to 2 rats from your graveyard to your hand. So pretty decent recursion for us too. Do we like that one, Ashcoat?
Yeah.
Man, Ashcoat's expensive. Our wallet.
I like Ashcoat.
Yep.
Our wallet doesn't like Ashcoat.
Yeah, I was thinking we're picking all the nice expensive cards here.
Yeah.
And we didn't even do the lands, so
True. I'm looking through. I'm just in rats now. We could do something like a what is it? Gnat Miser. I'm seeing that on Gatherer here. Each opponent's hand size
Yeah,
is
Gnat
reduced by 1.
Miser.
That's a mean turn 1 play. We've got room for, I would say, how many? First off, how many lands? Thunder's the guess. Thunder, how many lands do we want in this deck?
35 as a base is usually good because we've got a bunch of ramp as well, so it'll work.
Okay, so we're actually going to have ramp. So let's do our 100. We've got room for how many cards? 64 cards. So we're down to about 8 cards left into our synergy. So we got to be, what are we missing? I'll let you guys go through this list. Tell me what we're missing before, because I'm all gasoline, all gas on the fire. I'm putting more rats in. So you guys tell me what we need.
Well,
maybe a little bit
if we're kind of doing a
draw.
little bit of all gas, yeah, I like a little bit more draw.
A little more draw.
Because
Okay.
we're gonna be sacrificing things, and a lot's gonna be happening. We're gonna need to be filling our hand. I mean, it's probably gonna happen that Wick is gonna get nailed a few times, so we can't just rely on him for the draw.
Very true.
But I mean, if you got 7 mana or 9 mana or whatever, then you can probably get to him quite easily. I think what we need is a skull. What's that? Skullport Cutthroat.
Zulaport Cutthroat?
Yeah. No. There's another one that you draw cards and make treasure. The Skullport Merchant, that one there.
Skullport Merchant.
Yes.
Let me see.
Yeah. So he's reasonable because he enters, makes a treasure.
Yeah, sack another creature or treasure, draw a card. Yeah, and we've got lots of creatures. That's a good outlet.
We're going to be making a lot of 1/1s. How do we feel about Skull Clamp?
Yeah.
Yeah, that can work.
Do we want to... let's do a Skull Clamp.
The only thing is the snail's probably going to get big quick.
We can
how
always...
many...
I was going to say we can always Skull Clamp the snail too every turn. We do have like a Skull Clamp generator on our commander.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Worst case, it just gives you a little bit of extra damage onto everybody. That's not too bad either because it triples essentially.
Okay. What are we at? We're at 58 cards. Now I added a Reliquary Tower in because I think that's needed.
Definitely.
Yes.
Let's see what we've got here. I'll scroll through and I'll look at our sections. So we've got our artifacts. I'll put this into our snail section because that's what this is for. Maskwood Nexus. Birthing Boughs is also our snail section. Honestly, I like the look of this deck so far. It looks fun.
How about Wizard class?
Wizard class. What
Wizard
does that
class
do?
This is a good one.
Yeah.
What's Wizard class do, you guys? I'm just adding it here.
So it's 3 stages. At level 1, it's you have no maximum hand size, and then you can pay 2 and a blue to take it to level 2, and then you get to draw 2 cards. And then if you pay 4 and a blue, whenever you draw a card, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control.
That's pretty good. Oh,
yep.
Whenever you draw a card, put it on. That's really good for the snail power.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That's like potentially killing the table. If we throw one of our changeling snails away, draw 5 cards, it becomes another 5. It's 15 damage for 3 mana. Then another. It gets 5 bigger on our next snail. Yeah, that could be huge.
You can definitely build your board up very quickly as well, because I imagine we'll be able to draw quite a lot of cards if we have lots of snails.
Yeah. What is the card whenever our creatures die, we get mana? Black market something?
Pitiless Plunderer?
No, it's a perpetual. Every turn we get it.
Like, it just makes like black mana equal to the number of counters on it.
Yeah.
That's black market.
Is it black market?
Yeah, black market.
Black market. Down to $4. Let's go. Is that the one I'm thinking?
Yeah, it's been printed a bunch, so that's good.
Yeah. Whenever a creature dies, you put a charge counter on it. It's a 5 mana enchantment. Beginning of your pre-combat main phase, you add a black for each charge counter on it. So that's going to let us keep playing our stuff.
Yeah, I'm not sure because it's only black mana. It doesn't really work super well with Wick.
It does. Yeah, it doesn't let us use
Um,
Wick, but it does a lot of our. I think let's look at our stats
so
here.
maybe Pitiless Plunderer.
Pitiless Plunderer might be better because that creates treasure tokens.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me cut that one then. This, and I'll change it to Pitiless.
Yeah, we are entering the combo almost nearly infinite type territory here.
Pitiless
But
Plunder. Okay.
I think it's still fair because Wick's ability is 3 mana, so it's not like we're gonna go too wild with that.
Yeah, we've got. So we have room for I think 4 more cards. We've got a small hate your friends section. That's okay. I still haven't organized everything. We've got a decent snail section. Coil and Rebirth is pretty good. Vandal Blast goes into our removal. How are we on removal?
Yeah, I feel like we can get a couple more removal.
We've got
But it
5
should be
pieces, yeah.
instant speed.
So some more instant speed
Yeah.
removal.
I think Chaos Warp.
I was gonna say, how about a Chaos Warp?
Yeah. Did we pick Knowing Crescendo?
Which one's that?
No, I don't believe we did.
That could be interesting. It's not really removal, but it's like kind of like an anthem, and then it can make some rat tokens.
Is it an instant?
Yes.
Creatures
Whenever a non-token creature you control dies this turn, create a 1/1 black rat creature token with this creature can't block. So it just makes more tokens.
If we get board wiped too, that makes it a real big problem.
Yeah.
Chaos Warp. That's the best artwork of Chaos Warp I've ever seen. The raccoon coming through.
Nice.
Need it every time. What do we think about it is, where was it? I had it on my screen on my list there. I scroll too fast. This mouse wheel is getting its workout. It's another rat generator. And I need more rat generators. We've got room for 2 more cards. Where is
How about a flippy land thing? Fell the Profane.
Fell the Profane.
One of the
that?
new
What does it do?
Modern Horizons 3. So on the front side, it's 2 and 2 black, instant destroy target creature or planeswalker. But if you're really needing a land, you can just play it on the back side, as basically it can produce swamp mana.
Yeah.
So as it enters the battlefield, you may pay 3 life. If you don't, it enters tapped. So it
it's like a
can
new
enter
bolt land.
untapped as well. Yeah.
This was the one I was thinking. Starting with you, each player can pay any amount of life. Repeat this process until no one pays life. Each player creates a 1/1 black. But we could really, really easily, we can balls to the wall. If no one's, let's say ideal situation, no one's hit us, we can pay 39 life and our snail's already 1/1 and we have a 40 damage snail to throw at the whole table.
That sounds like a plan.
A Plague Vermin win could be fun.
Yep.
Okay, we're at our 64. Let's
Plague Vermin with Mirkwood Bats kind of goes a little silly.
Yeah. Each player creates a 1/1 rat for each life they pay this way. Yeah, again, and for us, worst case scenario, we've got 30 rats there. I like it. Sacrifice a rat, create X1 run. Marrow-Gnaw is actually also pretty interesting if we have our Maskwood Nexus out because we're pumping the snail. So we can also turn the snail into a Marrow-Gnaw sacrifice.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think. Do we want to go a little more rat anthem or do we like the... Let's take a look. So we've got... I'll go through our sections and see what we have here. We've got just 3 generic artifacts. The Skull Clamp is going to go into the draw. Change that over. Panharmonicon is, I would say, counter, so we'll leave Ozolith and Panharmonicon in the same spot. Our burn effects are pretty mean.
Yeah.
We can probably City on Fire for basically free. Siege Zombie. Oh, that's a good card.
Yeah.
So we have in our creature section, let's move Murderous Rider over to our removal, because that's kind of what it's there for. We've got Token Generator. Pitiless Plunderer, I'd say, is a token generator, just not a rat token, but still generating tokens.
I actually count it as ramp.
Ramp? Okay, yeah.
Yep.
Let's put this.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was visualizing it too.
Let's put Skullport Merchant into draw. And let's go move Pitiless over to ramp. Where is that card?
Oh my word.
Yeah. So we go over into ramp. I'm probably going to build this deck. Looking at it, it just looks really, really fun, and I like making rat tokens. Every time I kept typing rat token into like the search in Google, it kept pulling up like all the nice looking rat tokens that everyone has made, and now I gotta go on Etsy and spend $100. Okay, so let's go back up to our top here. So counter section good, burn section is looking good. Our creature, where do we want to put Ashcoat and Pack Rat? Pack Rat's pretty big.
I think it's a token generator because it makes copies of itself.
Yeah.
Okay, token generator.
And I would say
Ashcoat. I'm happy to leave Ashcoat just in the creature section because it's going to be more of a more of like a buff and recursion, which is kind of its own section.
I didn't realize Ashcoat was $60.
Yeah, right. I gotta buy Jumpstart more often. So I've only got 3 in our draw section. Our enchantments. Let's put.
I would say Ashcoat's a recovery strategy.
Hate Our Friends. Pheresis into Hate Our Friends. And Grave Pact into Hate Our Friends. So do we want to make a recovery section?
I would classify it as recovery because it's you're gaining advantage from the milling, but you get to return 2 rat creature cards from your graveyard to your hand. So if your rats die for whatever reason, you get them back, which is pretty strong. So it's good recovery.
Yeah.
Okay, so enchantment, wizard class, do we want to put over into draw?
Yes.
Okay. Wizard class, let's do draw. Warlock class is burn.
Yeah, we can put that in the burn because it's going to be symmetrical with this now.
Speaking of burn, I think we have to make room for wound reflection.
Yes, I was thinking about that. I think that
doubles
will
up.
fit in very nicely.
Yeah, it's essentially the same type of amplify the life loss and damages life loss, so that's good.
Let's put this into our burn effects. So we got to either cut 1 card or we'll do 34 lands. What do you say?
Well, one of them is a flippy land, so
that's true.
I think that's okay.
I run 33 lands in every deck. Doesn't even matter what the deck is.
Yeah.
I've bullied everyone else into playing that way.
It's a problem.
Okay, so let's see. Let's go back up to our. You just gotta.
20 rocks, a hope, and a dream.
Yeah, exactly. We've got our draw section. We've got our Meat Hook Massacre. Where do we want to? That's another burn.
We can put that under. Yeah, we can put it under burn. I think that's fair. Because when your creatures die, then your opponents lose life, so it's fine.
Black market into our draw.
Yes, it can also be generator, or ramp. It's everything. So.
Yeah, it's everything.
A little bit of everything there.
Instance. Okay, so Chaos Warp goes to removal. Bam. Then Fell the Profane goes to removal. Destroy target. That's pretty cool. Again, worst case, it's just a high mana removal late game or early game. It's land. I like the flip lands a lot.
Yeah, I like
Mhm.
these flip lands because it increases your spell density and it doesn't really decrease your lands. So if you're trying to like make your deck have a lot of things that it can do, and there aren't that many lands that have abilities that do what you need, then the flip lands are generally good. And that's how I built the
Mhm.
Golos Oops No lands. It's just full of these flippy lands because
Let's
it's like all spells.
so let's take a look
Yeah.
at our. We've got to add lands. I've added a reliquary. Do we want to? We're
I
already.
think we want to add.
I was going to say really
Sorry.
quickly. We're already kind of high budget. So do we want to go for a more budget land base, or do we want to just balls to the wall this deck and just say, hey, here it is, underground sea.
Well,
I think more budget.
Okay.
yeah, budget's probably fine. I mean, I don't think we're gonna need to go Cabal coffers and all that kind of thing.
So let's do a
But
Yeah. I
crumbling
do.
necropolis in place of a Xander's.
maybe we allow ourselves like 4 pricey lands because there's the 3 tree city and it's just gonna be so ridiculous here.
You're right. And
Yeah.
and I haven't even put it into I've got a few. I haven't used it yet. Okay, 3 tree. We were good.
I think we need to add a swarm yard in there.
Yes.
Yeah, Homework can do things.
Mudflat village.
Swarm yard. Mudflat.
A little bit of recursion there.
Okay.
If we want to have a little bit of top deck manipulation, we could add the blue one as well, Lily Pad Village.
Is that a new land?
But
Okay.
yeah, that's from Bloomborough. You can tap for colorless. You can tap for a blue only to cast a creature spell, or you can pay blue and tap it to surveil 2. Activate only if a bird, frog, otter, or rat enter the battlefield under your control this turn.
Okay. Let's do I'm gonna put in some tapped duels, like the Molten Tributary, that kind of stuff. Contaminated Aquifer.
The ones or lands that gain us a little bit of life would be pretty good.
Yeah.
So
let's
there's
find the gain ones.
what's that one? It's from Capenna.
I'm gonna throw in while we find those. I'm gonna throw in the burn lands though when they enter 1 damage to an opponent. I really like those deserts.
We'll also probably want a command tower and a path of ancestry.
Yeah. Smart.
That is true.
Command tower.
Rogue's Passage could be good too.
Oh yes, because the snail, obviously, because it's so big.
Yeah,
send it in.
Soured Springs is already in your deck. It says, okay, I don't think it is.
It is. I can see it.
Is it? Am I just bad at math? Okay.
It is definitely there, yeah.
So what were we saying there? Rogue's Passage?
Yep.
Okay. Yep. Rogue's Passage. Let me find before we get too ahead of ourselves, let's find our gain lands. Because we want to gain some life. Because we're playing a little loose with our life and a lot of the stuff we're doing. And people are going to try hurt us.
That is true.
Yeah. We Dismal Backwater.
Is that a gain one?
Akum Refuge. Yeah. Bloodfell Caves. That gets all 3 of those pair. Or no, that's just 2 of the 3 pairings. Sorry.
And what's the other one? Bloodfell.
Swiftwater Cliffs. If we're just wanting one of each, because there are 2 of each of them.
Swiftwater Cliffs.
Yeah. What's the New Capenna fetch land that's
Xander's?
But I don't want the
not the Triumph.
Triumph. It's the one that you sack it to go get a basic. It also gains your life.
Oh,
the bounce lands. The Maestro.
It's not a bounce land. It's a sack and you fetch like a island, mountain, or swamp.
That's what I mean. Yeah. So when Maestro Theater enters, you sack it. When you do search for a basic island, swamp, island, swamp, or mountain enters tapped, you gain a life. Yeah. So let's add Maestro's Theater.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Maestros. Maestro's Theater. What about in just like basic Evolving Wilds kind of thing?
Yeah, I'm down with that. Evolving Wilds or
Terramorphic Expanse, yeah.
Terramorphic.
Terramorphic, okay. We've got room for 15 more cards. Do we want to call it there and do
We'll
5
probably
of
want a
those
couple basics.
Yeah, we usually can go with 12 to 15 basics. And what I find is that I don't really care about doing the math in these situations, especially when you got all the artifacts. You just go like split it even.
So we could do, let's even do 4. 4 islands, 4 mountains, and 4 swamps.
4 swamps.
That should bring us to 97. So we've got room for 3 more cards, 3 more lands, let's say.
So then we can go with Myriad Landscape.
Yep. Fix our colors pretty easy.
Mm-hmm.
Myriad Landscape, okay.
Do we want Exotic Orchard as well?
Exotic's cheap.
Yeah, it works. I would only
Yeah,
ever
it's
advise putting it in something that's like 3 or more colors, so this fits.
Yeah, that's kind of how I look at that as well.
We got
Maybe
room
a
for 1
Mount Doom.
Mount Doom just for the flavor.
Because it can just deal 1 damage to each opponent. That seems fun.
It's also a board wipe for us for later on if we do need to pull the trigger on something.
But you need a legendary
Yeah,
artifact.
that's true.
So
Oh yeah, we don't have a legendary artifact. Sack it
Yeah.
and a legendary artifact.
Yeah.
Well, then we're not board wiping a thing. But I like it.
You will board wipe nothing.
So I'm just I'll do a quick scroll through on our video here so we can see what we're working with. It's I would say a pretty, let me pull up our big, there we go. So yeah, give us your thoughts on these kind of things. Like, what do you guys think? Is there anything this is missing? What do you guys think of the Frankenstein deck we've put together here?
I like it. I mean, I like to build in multiples of 4, but I'm being a bit casual today. So, but that's just because the system has some rules. But maybe we can talk about that another time in the future.
I want to do an episode on the you have like a big formula for building and stuff. I really like it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Let's check the mana curve.
Yeah, this I think this deck looks pretty fun.
Yeah, that curve is awesome.
A lot of really cool things.
2.83.
Lots of tokens. Yeah, this is great.
Yeah, this, like I said, I'm scrolling through the list. It looks really, really fun. Like I said, I want to start doing more of these. I want to start doing more live builds because then it brings, like, this is a very different deck than I would have built. I think a different deck that Slothy would have built, and definitely a different one than Thunder would have built. Right? Like you said, you have a totally different build path normally that you go off of. So I think it's fun. I like to mash decks up like this. I think this is a mean deck. I think that Wound Reflection is like really, really painful. Extra burn, like I think you fight the table with a deck like this. I think you only get
definitely.
Yeah, I think you're only getting 1 sacrifice of that snail off before the table puts together what you're doing.
Yeah, but hopefully your ramp is gonna get you ahead, and then if you're lucky, you throw down a 10-hit strike, and then it doesn't matter. So
take a look at our playtester on it. I would keep that hand. 3 land, 2 playable cards in it.
I mean, the shapeshifter with the birthing bows is that's just engine right there next to Nadia. I mean, come on.
Well, and again, we have our 3 colors right away to start it up. I would keep that.
Yeah.
Our first 3 draws would be Gnawing Crescendo, more land, Commander Sphere. Oh yeah, we're looking really good with this. I would be happy with all of these draws. Yeah, I really like this deck. This seems very, very fun. I need to find a
Yeah.
well. You give me your quick thoughts. I have to go to a website fast.
Yeah, so I think that when I was looking through the Bloomburrow commanders, Wick interested me because it looked like it was going to be one of these really like go after the table type commanders. I like that it's got card draw. Any commander that has some kind of good advantage effect on it is going to be a lot of fun to play because you can fill your hand here. And also because it's not like, I mean, if you look at a commander like Glarb, for example, it's a frog commander. He looks fun, but it doesn't care that you're playing frogs or not.
Yeah.
But Wick
hmm
wants rats, so that's awesome. And it says another rat you control, so it doesn't care if it's a token rat, which is perfect. And I think that
hmm
that is something that makes a card unfun, is when it's limiting itself to just um, rats that you can cast from your hand or something like that. So any rat that enters that's awesome.
The mighty snail will get very big. Like I think for sure.
Oh yeah, I mean
hmm
we haven't seen snails like this before, so
Yeah. I also like our snail section. I was going to say I forgot to when I was scrolling through there. We do have where was our
We do
snail
have a
section?
snail section.
oh
We've
yeah.
got
Yeah, we've got
5
our
cards in there.
Birthing Bows, Bloodline Pretender, Maskwood Nexus. So we've got 2 snail generators. Turns everything into snails. And
hmm
if we hit a Maskwood Nexus in the game and we have a lot of mana, we're just sitting there. We've got our, like, let's say we've got 15, 20 mana, or we've got our 3 Tree City out and the ability to turn all of our mana into whatever color we want. Uh, the fact that we can just dump so many, like, we could just throw rat after rat after rat in our snail section to kill the table. I feel like this deck will have pretty explosive turns.
Yeah, when I see
hmm
so many engines in a deck, because that's really what's happening here, is you've got like several different cards that can just be an engine on its own, or in partnership with one or two other things, or with the commander. Um, they remove your one engine, then another one comes out, and then another one comes out. And because the snail sacrifices as a cost, so that really makes it difficult for your opponents to do anything about what you're doing. Um, and I think we're going to, in the future from Wizards, see more of these counter ability type effects
Yeah.
to try and stop this
hmm
situation from getting out of hand.
Well, yeah, because you can't. There's not much you can do against that ability, like you said, right? It's not a spell that you can counter. Hold all the counter spells you want. I'm throwing rat snails. I really like this, and I think this card would look really cool in foil.
Yeah.
Definitely, all that purple. That'll be amazing.
Yeah, I'm happy with our list. I think we did it. It is not super budget, but that's okay.
Um,
Yep.
I will say though, to that point, there are like 4 or 5 cards that are bringing the price up here. We got the Ozolith at $40, Meat Hook at 45,
So that's 85
um,
bucks.
Ash Coat, which is 60, um, and 3 Tree City, which is 25.
So like 180
You
ish
go over
dollars.
to yeah, so you could go over to Abyss Proxy Shop and get those for much cheaper. Um, and make it a budget deck if you'd like.
Yeah. Look at this right here. I'll pull it up on the screen. Look at that. Look at this nice Ash Code proxy. $3.85. Promo code IT99. Best ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Abyss does great work for those big expensive cards. There is
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize how expensive some of those ones were. The Ozolith, I don't even think you could print the Ozolith down enough. Like it just goes in so many decks so well.
Yeah, that is
Oh
true.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you kind of had to be lucky and pull a bunch of those in Ikoria when it came out, or else you're going to be out a lot of money on that card.
Yeah, I like I said, there's just so many of these that I'm a big fan of. Abyss Proxy Shop is a wonderful thing. I say we wrap there. We're a little over our time at an hour 20. You guys get a long episode this week, but it is what it is. We brewed the deck together. And yeah, like I said, there's going to be a few more. Thunder's going to join us on a few more of these ones. We have another one planned, but like I said, we weren't able to get to it. But I am excited to brew that one. So this should be very fun. But I want to do more of these kind of things. So I'm going to be. Let me hit my Patreon button here. Bam. Thank you guys for listening to the episode. If you like what you're doing, like, share, subscribe. It really does help. And like I said, it's one of the things I want to do more and more, like with like our friends, with other people like who are on Patreon. I want to brew live decks and kind of see how people go about it and stuff, right? Because again, Thunder has cost me $400 today in Siege Zombies alone. I need to go buy all these cards, right? So definitely come over on Patreon if you want to brew with us and stuff like that, and share your ideas, share the glory of Siege Zombie to your playgroup. Again, just thanks for listening. I really appreciate it. I hope you guys like this deck. Tell us if you think there's stuff missing and why it's more rats. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That's the gist of it. Thank you so much for joining us over here, Thunder, as well.
Yeah,
and
awesome.
Yes, thank you for joining us.
Oh, and then yeah, the what else? That I was gonna say, we already did the Abyss Proxy Shop. AI Armor is the best spot for these sleeves. I'm sure if you wait long enough, they will have snail sleeves, the glory of the snail sleeves. But AI Armor is like the best sleeves in the game, so that's what I'm going to put this deck when I inevitably build it into. If you look at the link in our bio, definitely a good spot to go check it out. It's a great company of great people and a great product. So again, that's it. And yeah, Abyss Proxy Shop, Patreon, come over and visit with us and brew decks. I have I built 6 Helga decks. That's next week. I got Helga Ooze, I got Helga Angels, I got Helga Big Creatures, I got Helga all day. Might do Helga Beast later, we don't even know. You'll see what episode you get next week. And yeah, that's it. Thank you guys again for getting to the end of it, and bye-bye for now.
See ya.
Cheers.